all present here. I'm Arnav Thakur, and today we're going to discuss a very vital, a very crucial topic known as how women change the world. So, without further ado, let's get started. First of all, we need to know some things that would be discussed in this presentation, and basically, we're going to discuss the values of women and how they break the stereotypes and freedom and importance to women. We're also going to discuss their historical achievements. So let's start with the word stereotype, which basically would be confusing to many people. Actually, the main meaning of the word stereotype is that a person can or cannot do something based on their physical and mental appearance. A good example can be that women are going to be charged more than men, are going to be paid less than men, and even they won't know about it. And that is just things that happen regularly in our society. Cycle of stereotypes, we need to know about it. We're going to discuss mainly of women, but this can also be applied to men depending on the circumstance. First, we need to start with the discrimination. Like women would be discriminated, how you can't do this, you're not allowed to do it. Then they'd lose hope, which basically means they'd almost give up. Then they'd have more dedication to do that, meaning they'd lose hope, but then they try again. Still, a very small amount of people, like about 2% of the people who actually were there, like they'd support them by, we talk about in the early ages when women weren't allowed education, some men would actually give them the books or help them learn and read and write. So once they achieve their goal, the cycle actually branches into two paths. One in which they discriminated again, and the cycle again continues. Or the second path is actually when they apologize, they join that activity. Like let's say a woman actually had learned how to read and write, then more men would actually realize the grave mistake they've made and actually help more women. Now, first of all, we need to know about the stereotypes we gave to men and women. Basically, how we carved up men and women. Now, women are often told that you have to act shy, you have to act as if you're weak, and focus on marriage after education, while men are focused to act tough, act strong, and focus on getting a better job and outstanding, and usually are superior. Now, let's look on to the values of women. By values, of course, we're not meaning the price, which can't be given to any person depending on anything. You can't give the price to a woman or a person just because he's white, just because he's a boy. By values, I'm actually meaning the percentage of women on here, our wonderful earth, and in a society, the percentage of education they have. So, first of all, without further ado, let's start. We have about 101.68 men, including adults and children, per 100 women, including adults and children. Again, now let's look at the education rate of women. Now, if you look at about 2021, the poll shows that about over 90% of the women were educated around the globe. And you can see this number gradually expanding. Next, let's look at the Delhi Sultanate. A lot of people would be confused as to what it is, but it is basically an ancient Indian empire. Yes, going with the timeline of India. It was an Indian empire that spanned for many years around the subcontinent and even managed to almost unify it. So, first of all, let's look at the value of women there. They're actually regarded as the property of women. Women were regarded as the property of men. They can only do housework, or if they tried, they can be dancers and singers, mostly slaves or maid. Again, men acted as if they own women, not only in India, around the world, even in the famous Roman Empire. Let's look at the Mughal Empire, because a lot of people would think that in Mughal Empire, at least Mughal times, something would have changed. Yes, many things have changed. The upper class, keyword, upper class women were secluded more within the society, meaning if we take two, let's give an example of circles. The upper class women were actually brought in the circle of men compared to the circle of lower class women. But as we know that the lower class woman played a significant role at home, like maid again we said, and also had the ability to own land. And women not only land, they also had the ability to own wealth and give it to whomever they chose. But still, men were superior at that time, according to society. Now let's look at the British Raj, which was a key figure in India for the discrimination upon gender. Now, if you look, the British Raj actually used gender distinction as a weapon to oppress Indians. As you guessed, male superiority. The practice of child marriage, forced marriage, sati, devdasi, purda, dowry, meaning that at those times, what happened was if the husband died, then the wife would also sacrifice herself, and that if the wife did not listen to the husband, then she'd also die. That was just maths, according to historians, according to the men of those times. Now we look into the 21st century. Nowadays, women dominate in many works to break the stereotypes. We have many women excel in mathematics, physics, and mainly politics. Yes, even in politics, area in which thought that the woman can't reach there, even once men go to Mars. Let's look at the importance of women right now. Now we're just going to look at the percentage of women again. They make up about 48% of the population. And now let's just look as to how they could change. Because we will need more teachers, we need doctors, we need defense, like the soldiers, we need lawyers. And still, we have many people who are under poverty. Again, they can be helped by the income given to the government, by the GDP. Still, we'd see freedom of women, meaning we allow them to do whatever they want. Still, some men who actually oppose the idea of freedom would still think as it would allow more men to change their profession into more vital ones instead of being like a nurse. Again, more stereotypical jobs. Now let's look at some great physicians, great revolutionaries, and even politicians. Let's look at Marie Curie. She was a great physicist. She discovered radium and polonium. Polonium is a chemical which is named after her home country, Poland, and radium is a very radioactive chemical, as in the name. We look at radium, it is used to treat prostate cancer. Again, very good treatment, a very good medicine, which a lot of people ignore women for it. Still, after that, let's look at Rosa Parks. She was an American activist in the civil rights movement, best known for pivotal role in the Montgomery bus boycott. Meaning, at those times, the whites had the ability to take the blacks off their seat. Meaning, if a black person was at their seat, the white could tell them, "Get up, go away. This is my seat now." Still, they're not allowed to touch the blacks. Again, a very dumb method to show superiority. What happened actually during those times was she refused to do it and therefore created a larger crowd in supporting her. She is regarded as the mother of freedom movement. Let's look at Ada Lovelace. A lot of people don't know her, but you need to understand as she was one of the first computer programmers. Yes, computer programmers, meaning the laptop or the computer you have all originated from the same system. Now let's look at a final woman here in this presentation. It is Draupadi Murmu. She is the 15th and current president of India working hard on countering terrorism, which is a major issue since independence of India. Not only in India, terrorism is actually a major issue around the globe, such as the countries which, like Israel, Palestine, the current issue that is happening. Still, Draupadi Murmu, she's trying to counter terrorism and is very strict on it. Now, that being said, thank you.